there. Those were good. So you got Crystal singing along, everything else. Nicely done. I don't know if I can really sing to that song, right? I like it when you call me Senorita. I'm like, ah, right. So it's all good, but it had a good beat to it. So, hey, welcome everybody. Hope you guys are having an incredible April. We have just passed the midway point of that. And it is just exciting to see sunshine. Hopefully you guys got out and enjoyed it. Hopefully like there's just blessings coming to your life and everything else. And so today I'm excited to start out with our incredible designated broker who I have so much appreciation for because he went on vacation, right, a week and a half ago. And so I had to fill in for him. And let me just tell you, John, how much I love you and appreciate you, my friend. So you got something for us today, though.
I do, yeah. Thank you for those kind words. I was wanting to talk about, we have so many situations now in this competitive market where as a buyer's agent, you're needing to waive, sometimes your buyer is needing to waive something to make their offer more acceptable, right? And so there's certain words we got to be careful about, and one of those is offer. When the thing's been signed off, it's no longer an offer; it's now a contract, right? And so we've got to make sure we're using the word offer, the word contract, in its appropriate context. One of the words that I also have trouble with sometimes is waiver or waiving something, because the quote that I wrote here in my notes is, you can't waive something that doesn't exist.
Okay.
So think about that for just a minute. So every sale that is made is considered by the law to be a cash sale. It's considered that the buyer has this cash in their back pocket, so to speak, or the bank or whatever, ready to close. Unless, of course, there is a 22A financing contingency form put in there to make getting financing a condition of the sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if there is no 22A put into the contract, it's deemed to be cash, right?
Okay.
Unless the buyer gives a disclosure that they have some funds that they have to obtain to be able to make the purchase. And so as a buyer's representative, we would always want to make sure we do that. So on the buyer's side, I'm seeing now a lot of brokers who are trying to hide the source of funds or to use Form 22EF as a financing contingency. I just want to clarify, it is not. So 22EF is only a disclosure form. That's all it is. So it's not a contingency form or anything else. When we're using the word contingent funds within the 22EF, we're just saying that they don't have that money now. It's a disclosure. They don't have that cash now.
Right.
The deal isn't contingent on them getting it. It's simply a disclosure. So if it comes down to an earnest money dispute, that buyer would still lose their earnest money if they couldn't close. So Form 22AA is something that's existed for a long time, the Form 22AA, but it's just now starting to get into use quite a bit, right? Because now people are trying to do this, disclosure, and plus they're needing to get some sort of financing to make the deal happen. Sometimes that financing is what's sometimes referred to as a hard money lender, which would really be a non-conforming lender. So that means it's not conforming to Fannie Mae's guidelines. So if they're getting that loan, they still need to disclose it. They still need to get sellers' permission to have their lender send a representative in for appraisal or for whatever they've got to do. So we got to get sellers' permission on that. If we're representing the buyer, we can't just force things through, right?
Right.
So in terms of waiving financing. You know, there's a lot of really finesse items that are there in terms of making sure that if we're waiving, do they still get their inspection, not inspection, do they still get their appraisal?
Right.
Appraisal portion in there. And so there's just a lot of things that need to be there. So tomorrow from 2 to 4, I'll be doing a class on Form 22A and 22D. And I would, you know, hope that if you have some time available, you can pop in for that Zoom class and get that link for it, you know, off of our site or from Goldie. And then the other problem we're having with waiving things is waiving inspections. So I just don't know that there's a lot of buyers who want to waive their inspection, who want to waive their right to see what they're buying. And it's kind of dangerous, and we probably don't ever want to be pushing or insinuating to our buyer that they're going to have to waive their inspection, because I can just hear dialogues in my head going on from agents, you know, to their clients, and so let me just share with you a couple of those dialogues. So one that I hear is saying, you know, this house is going to have 4 offers on it. If we're going to get it, you're going to have to waive the financing. I mean, it's your decision, but you're not going to get the house unless you waive the financing. So that's a way you don't want to say it, because you don't know that. And you don't want to be trying to manipulate the buyer into waiving their inspections contingency. And so you want to say things like what a lot of buyers are doing in this competitive market is they are waiving their inspections, but you need to understand the risks involved in that. Here's Form 35W that spells out all those risks. If you read this, and if you were to waive it, you would be waiving all these things. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're always using that and not just not using Form 35 or 35W. One or the other's got to be used in every transaction. Please.
Well, and I want to pause there for just a second, John, right? And I think people need to hear this, okay? And exactly the statement that John just said there. Every offer you do should include a 35 or a 35W, okay? Because a 35W has wording in it to protect you as the agent if the buyer chooses not to do an inspection, because it says right in there, John, right in paragraph 1, the buyer has been advised, right, to do an inspection. And so, but I want everybody to hear that. So when you are doing your offers for buyers, we are expecting to see either Form 35 or 35W in there.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, and so in this case of the inspection, the waive term or waiving term, the inspection isn't something that's just automatically there. It's not automatically built into an offer contract, right? Form 21. It is something that we put in there by using Form 35 or the 35R. And so you can't waive something that doesn't exist. So what we're really waiving, what the buyer would really be waiving, is their right to conduct an inspection. Mm-hmm. And so, so they don't have, you know, we need to make sure they know that they have that right to conduct an inspection, but that, or inspections plural, and that we get that dialogue in there with them so that we don't get sued later on when they, you know, waive, they don't do it, they use Form 35W, they close, they find out there's a ton of stuff wrong. This is happening like crazy in this market. I'm getting calls on this all the time. And so, you know, I hate to say TS, I won't tell you what TS means, but I had a teacher in school who used to say TS to me all the time when I would say something. It means tough beans, right? So we have to make sure that in advance to waiving that inspection opportunity, the buyer knows what it is that they are waiving. And they're not going to have a legal right to be able to use the paragraph F 5 days before closing walkthrough to do their inspection. They can't do that. I mean, they can certainly do the walkthrough, but remember that paragraph F in the Form 21, that 5-day walkthrough before closing is simply a opportunity for the buyer to verify that it's in the same condition it was in when they saw it. Yeah. So can that buyer bring an inspector with them? No, they can't bring anyone with them. There's liability issues for that seller. And because there's liability issues without written permission, the buyer can't bring anyone else with them. They can go do the walkthrough themselves to verify things, turn on the faucets, flush the toilets, turn on the microwave, whatever they got to do, make sure things are still working. That's fine, but they may not use this as an opportunity for them to do the inspection they had waived. Is what I'm getting at. Right?
Yeah.
Bill, you have something coming right out of your head. I can see.
No. I'm wanted to know if anybody's got any questions. I know, like Holly put in the comments, 5 sales in her neighborhood last year, and none of them did inspections. Now, some sellers did pre-inspections, which is still on the Form 35W, right? And pre-inspections, guys, basically, again, is for your buyer to be able to go into the home, see it. They can still ask for modifications and repairs, but they're saying, hey, this is what you're basically telling the seller ahead of time what your expectations are. There's not a renegotiation, because of inspections. So,
right. Also, I wanted to just add one more thing to that. And that is that I want everyone to remember, because you've all had this in real estate school and everything else, in law class and everything else, that the seller, even though the buyer is going to waive their inspections contingency, the seller still has a legal obligation to disclose any known material defects. So the buyer has some built-in protections from the law, like the seller's obligation to disclose known material defects. Can you imagine a seller who knows some defect about their property, major defect that would have influenced the buyer's decision to offer or how much to offer, and didn't disclose it, and require the buyer to line out paragraph W and require the buyer to waive their inspection? That seller is setting themselves up for a major lawsuit after closing. Yeah. And so as a listing agent, we want to be careful and not, be thinking that in just a very myopic vision of the transaction, we're doing something good for our seller by having those things done. That's not doing any favors for the seller, because they can get sued big time after closing unless they disclose known material defects, unless they give the buyer their due diligence of some kind, right, to check out the property, to verify statements in paragraph W that sellers made, those kinds of things. So I just wanted to bring those issues to everyone's attention today, because they are, recurring daily recurring issues. And
They are, right? And for those that don't know, right, again, you should know by this point, but the Form 22A does have either in the bottom of page 1, you have 2 options, right? Your buyer has 2 options. One, to have the seller perform, to make the buyer waive the financing contingency, or the buyer can have an automatic waiver of financing contingency. Now, you can shorten those days to be more competitive, but you always want to disclose where funds are coming from.
Right.
So, any questions for John?
I know what the question is. What's that shirt you're wearing, John? Well, this is the Charlie Sheen collection. So I've always worn Hawaiian shirts in the spring and summertime, and
yes, you have.
And I still probably will, but I'm now going to add to my collection the Charlie Sheen collection of shirts.
You're just not partying as hard as Charlie did. That's all. Oh. So we're good. Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. Well, thank you, John. It doesn't look like there's any questions. So thank you for your wisdom. And again, make sure that if you have questions about the forms, attend those Wednesday sessions from 2 to 4. They are virtual, right? Get in there, check it out, and see what John is teaching about the forms, okay? So All right, I am excited for this Thursday. You know, Keller Williams started off really and truly when Gary was going, hey, what is it that all the successful people have in common? And it was these 6 personal perspectives that he looked at, right? And these were the foundations really and truly of the mindset of Keller Williams. And those are the 6 personal perspectives. And so Brian Manalis and I are going to be teaching this class this Thursday from 1 to 4 in the Federal Way office. So you can come in person, okay? It will also be virtual, but I'm going to encourage you to come in person. Make sure you register. The registration link should be in the chat for you. So make sure you guys sign up for that class. Also, by the way, we're going to get into market update. Bold is coming back in June, right? And so Bold Local is going to be here. It is going to be an intense, how do I get listings? Right now out of Bold, when they're doing this Bold, they are averaging 2 listing appointments a week for everybody that is attending Bold right now. So in this market, which is absolutely crazy, which we're going to be talking about, know that there are tools out there for you. There's classes such as Bold Local that will be there for you to help you get listings, right? Okay. All right. Let's get into the market update. I'm going to have Goldie share the screen again here. So looking at this, guys, looking at King County, first of all, hopefully there was some excitement for you. This is not going to show this, but last week our inventory doubled, nearly doubled in size, which is exciting, right? So if you are a buyer's agent, it's incredibly exciting. But when you look back, as we look back on the month here, you can see exactly what inventory is doing and net pending sales. The red line, ladies and gentlemen, is your net pending sales. The inventory is the blue line. So when you see the net pending sales way, way above, right, that blue line, that inventory line, that is why you see your buyers going out and competing against 20 offers, 50 offers. We've had them as high as 80 offers come in on a home, right, in this last month. Now, with inventory doubling, we should see that come down a little bit, that gap close. Goldie went to the next screen, which is perfect. You guys see here right now, you're literally, guys, and I can hardly read that with my glasses, but I believe that's 2.29. Am I correct, Goldie? But guys,
229.2.
229. See, this is why I have younger people look at these numbers for me, because they can read them. 229.2. Guys, you have 2.3 buyers for every listing that is out there right now. 2.3 buyers. Okay. Now, perhaps you feel like this guy right here. I'm just going to demonstrate this for you. I'm going to ask to share the screen from Goldie here. And I want to go over here and show you this. And maybe you feel, whoops, if I can move this, just like this person. And Goldie, I think I forgot to share my sound. So I'm going to end the share. And I apologize, guys, because I am working from, all right, here we go.
Excuse me, is that apple for sale? Yeah, we're about to put it on sale right now, actually. Well, I'm in the market, so tell me about your apple. Why should I buy it? Nice try. Okay, people, here's how this is going to work. I have an apple home with this. I want all bids in the next 2 minutes, then we're closing it. Bidding starts at $5.
Feeling pretty confident there, huh? I mean, don't you think?
$10.
He said starting at $5.
15.
Is this a new apple?
Yeah, just listed. I'm pre-qualified. I'll pay cash. I got cash. 20, 30, 40. No, just make it 45.
Is it even worth that?
50. I don't know. Please, this is the 8th apple I've tried to buy.
Could I at least see it up close?
Nope, it's an apple. You know what it is. You either want it or you don't. I'll take it for 100.
What? I'm from California. It's the cheapest apple I've ever seen.
120.
Why did I do that? Why? I don't.
So I don't know about you, but maybe that's the way that you feel right now, right? Especially if you're representing buyers. I mean, it is absolutely crazy. Now, understand this, guys, and we're gonna look at this here in just a second for Pierce County as well. Goldie, if you can bring that back up. What you guys have to understand, even when we see inventory doubling like we did last week, right? We went from 700 to about 12 to almost 1,400 listings last week, right? But here's what you have to understand: our shortfall is still 4 million homes nationwide. It is going to take roughly about 10 years for us to catch up to where our inventory should be nationwide, okay? So for a listing agent, it's exceptional. For a buyer's agent, we know it can be somewhat frustrating, right? Well, here's the thing. Understand this, a national poll just went out, and do you know that 66% of people, of homeowners, do not know what their home is worth? 66%. They don't know that they're sitting on a lotto ticket right now. And for those of you that have been in the business, right, for some time, how many times have you seen somebody buy a home and 6 months later, you know, with the same home, not doing any upgrades, make $50,000 on a sale? It's insane. It's crazy. So sellers don't know what they're sitting on right now. 66% of them do not. So this is a perfect opportunity to really and truly go out, have your listing presentations like mastered, and go get listings, because people do want to. With all the political strife and everything else going on right now in different states, believe me, people are wanting to move to different states right now. Okay, for your investors or those that own second homes that are renting out right now, great opportunity to go after those people that have second or third homes and say, hey, you're sitting on a gold mine. Now is the time to cash out that house, right, and get that thing sold. All right, when we look at Pierce County, ladies and gentlemen, we can see the gap is still just as big, right? Inventory is even lower. Pending sales are just as high. Now, with Pierce County, we see the prices starting to creep up more and more, right? They're still not at King County prices, but more people are moving, especially in the Tacoma area. And when you look at the absorption rate, this is what the absorption rate looks like, okay? It is, and again, I'm going to talk to Goldie. Goldie, I believe that's a number that starts with a 4.
It's 419.1.
4.2 buyers for every listing in Pierce County right now, guys. Okay, so talk to me about what you're feeling when you see these numbers. You're awestruck, obviously, because nobody has anything to say. Okay. Is this frustrating? Or is this like going, man, if I just, all I need is listings, and listings are going to sell? I mean, it all comes to the mindset, guys. And mindset is everything in these markets. Okay. It is absolutely everything. And you guys know how to do these. Master those listing presentations, and you guys will go really far. Okay. All right. Moving on. Okay. In this, does anybody have any questions about the market or the numbers that they're seeing? Okay. So if you're a buyer's agent, right? John was just talking to you at the beginning of this meeting. Make sure that your contracts are tight. Make sure that you're protecting your buyer, but understand, right? Don't give the whole world away just to be able to get deals. Now, when we look at numbers, just to be able to support what we're saying to you, when we look at Keller Williams International, okay, and we look at our regional numbers, notice the closed units and the closed volume that they're up 45%. Closed GCI people in the company, right, in the region got a 45% pay raise this year. That's gross commission, right? Listings sold are up 30% versus this time last year. Now you may be looking going, hey, Bill, but wait a second, you know, we had the pandemic in March last year, right? That's when this started. These are looking at March's numbers, but the pandemic hadn't taken hold yet. We didn't really see that until April, right? So these numbers are still really significant. Okay, when we go on to look at our other numbers here, okay? When we look at Puget Sound, look at this, guys. In our Federal Way and Burien locations, guys, best Marches ever for closed volume. Why is that? Why do you think? What do we see going on with home values? They're going up, right? So our listings taken is only up, right, 17.9%, but the listings taken volume is up 23.8%. Best March ever. Listings sold volumes, contracts written volume up 84.4%. Okay. All right. When we look at our Mountains of Sound or our Kent and Enumclaw locations, best March, all-time records in contracts written and contracts written volume. Guys, there is business to be had if you really put your head down and work the business, right? And focus in on those things of lead generation, contacting your sphere, contacting your database. It is all here for you. And the next slides are going to show you those people that really and truly have benefited from really and truly putting their heads down and doing this. So congratulations to our March cappers, Lene Miller, Brian Pham, Con Wynn, Adrian Wong, Lou Arab, Kelly Bia. Congratulations, right? To Steve Carba, Bill Cox, Marilyn Farfan, Chad Gelzer, Rodolfo and Shannon Hernandez McIntyre, Ramona Jones, Nicole Coomer, Tori Mayfield, Anna McCluskey, Aaron Morrow, Alan Powell, Chris Ranch, okay, and Mark Van Antwerp. Congratulations to every single one of those, capping the rest of their year is going to be 100% all theirs. And congratulations to those that took their very first listings with Keller Williams, Rondi Sands, Becky Kane, Rustlin Regetta. Great job, each and every one of you. And to those that got the first closing, Joe Brandemeyer, Josh Glandon, Laura Hellion, Tiffany Rashad, Ulysses. I see you on this call too, Ulysses. So nice job on your first closing, everybody. And next slide, our awards and the people that did incredibly well for the month of March. When we look at this, our $1 Million Club, looking at both offices here, there are so many names on here. This means that they did more than $1 million in volume in the month of March. Those are some nice paychecks that come that way, right? The home run clubs, those that took a listing, wrote a unit, and closed a unit. Look at that entire page is full. Nice job, each and every one of you, right? Okay, our top listing units. When we look at our offices, coming in at the top 3 in individuals: Alex Frankoff, Todd Izinga, Lori Strickland. Great job. For teams, we have Tom and Lori Kittleman, We Get It Done group, and the Miller Real Estate group. And for our groups, Rosie Rourke's team, the Results team, and Landman. Congratulations, each and every one of you. Laura, I see you taking pictures of that. Make sure my face is in there nice and beautiful, okay? And for our Puget Sound location, Alan Powell, Anna McCluskey, Larry Nordberg, and the rest, very good. Our teams, the Heritage Home Partners. Nice job, Jackie, in November. The Jones Group and Sands Castle. Very nicely done, Tracy and Renard. And for our groups, Denise Christopherson and Associates, the My Puget Sound Homes, and the Empire Home Group. Great job, each and every one of you. For our top written units in March, again, looking over for our individuals, our top 3 were Alex Frankoff, Todd Izinga, and Julius Tingsong. Very nice job, guys. And our teams, the We Get It Done group, the Miller Real Estate group, and the Hometown team. And for our groups, the Rosie Work team, the Results team, and the Landman Incorporated. Great job there in our Mountains of Sound location. And again, in our Puget Sound, want to celebrate for our top individuals, the top 3, Alan Powell, Vasily Stepan, Larry Nordberg. Great job. And to the rest of the top 10 there. And for our teams, the Jones Group, the Heritage Home Partners, Sarah Robbins and Associates, and for our groups, the My Puget Sound Homes, Synergy Properties, Denise Christopher and Associates. Great job, each and every one of you. Okay, for top closed volume, so proud to see these names up here. For top closed volume individuals, the top 3. We got 3 new names up there, guys. Izzy Chavez, Julie Gunn, and Adrian Wong. Congratulations to each and every one of you and all the rest of you on that list right there. For our teams in our federal or our Puget Sound, I'm screwing that up, in our Mountains of Sound location, the Lasting Homes, the We Get It Done group, and the Westman team. Very, very nicely done. And for our groups, the Results team, the Rosie Rourke team, and the Landman Incorporated. And in our Puget Sound location, congratulations to these top 3, Alan Powell, Larry Nordberg, and Anna McCluskey. And to the rest of you, great to see your name up there, Anna. And for our teams, the Jones Group, the Heritage Home Partners, Sands Castle, and our groups, Denise Christopherson and Associates, the Gelzer team, and the My Puget Sound Homes. Great job to each and every one of you. All right. So proud to be in business with you guys. Understand, hey, if you need clock hours and you just are like, you know what, I need a refresher, or you're new to the business and you have not taken Ignite, Ignite 2.0 is starting, okay? It says starting March. I believe, since we're already past March, I believe that's starting in May. But it will be 4 weeks, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11. There are 40 clock hours available in that, okay? So that is starting in May, not March of next year, not March that we just went through, but it's going to be starting in May for you guys, okay? All right. Next we have on here is this. Have a great day, okay? Hey, it is so good to be in business with each and every one of you. Understand the market is there. It is yours for the taking if you just do the work. And always remember, keep those contracts nice and tight. Protect yourselves. We love you guys. Have a beautiful day, okay? We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.